Hi, welcome to Fancy Foam. Today I'll be showing you how to make a foam dagger that, I know Nerf daggers right now and Nerf stuff, meelees are getting really expensive, so decided to show you how I make them, and they work really well if you do it right. So this example, so it doesn't hurt when you stab, it's still squishy enough and it's still kind of stiff, so it's really nice. And you can make a sword if you have enough foam, but I only have enough foam for daggers. So what you're gonna need is, I don't have a full one, I've cut them all up. You're gonna need one of those foam puzzle pieces, you know, that people use as floor mats. I don't have any full ones right now, all of mine are cut up. You can use any kind of foam puzzle piece. My sister gave me her princess ones because she didn't want them, so I'm using these ones. You can use whatever. You also need a glue gun. Popsicle sticks, I only have short ones. You can get long ones, because I prefer you have long ones. You can have them right off popsicles, or you can get them at a craft store. I think Dollar Tree even has them. You also need a Sharpie, and some scissors, and tape. And I think I already said that you will need foam. So go ahead and plug in your glue gun so that's warm. I'm going to grab my scissors, and then what you're going to want to do is take your Sharpie, probably not a really thick one, and then just draw out what you want your sword to look like, or dagger. So I am going to try to copy the stone wall dagger that Nerf has actually made a real one, so I'm going to need a bigger piece of cardboard here. Bigger piece of foam. Okay, so I think my hand should fit around maybe this much. Like this. I'm just gonna add a little number there. You can draw whatever you want. I've made a karambit. I've made a machete. I'll show you the machete later. I've made all kinds of daggers. Some of them I make up, some of them I try to copy something. I don't have a picture of the Stonewall dagger with me. I just kind of have a little image in my mind. This will not be exact at all. So that goes up. Sorry, my Sharpie's kind of faded. You do not have to make this exact dagger. If you want to and you like how it looks, you can go ahead and do that. I've also made some other ones that are cooler, but I don't want to make duplicates at all. I like to have different ones. Sorry I haven't been posting in a while too. This is I think what the blade of the Stonewall dagger looks like, except for it has little grits, but I can't really cut that out. So forgive me if I'm wrong on what this is, what the Stonewall dagger looks like, but I don't own one. If I owned one, I probably wouldn't be making these. Well, actually, I probably would, because it's nice to have a bunch of daggers for your friends too. So just cut that out. Try to make it for the thickness of your hand. You know, my hand's kind of small, so I can make a smaller handle. But some of you guys' hands might not be so small. So there it is. Cut it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of foam and just trace it out. Sorry, you have to look at that weird princess. I don't even know her name. Have not studied princesses. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trace this back out. I think when you're doing your second trace, sometimes you can improvise too. I'm gonna show you how to do. There's a few other ways you can do this too that I'm gonna show you at the end of the video. So watch the whole thing. This is like that. Okay. So I'm sorry if I have a faded marker that doesn't like to go on foam. So you can't really see the second drawing, but I was making sure you could see the first. And you'll see the shape once I have it cut out too. And then when you're wanting to make, well, I'll just tell you this later. I'm going to tell you how to make bigger, things like machetes and stuff out of this, and swords. I'm going to tell you how to do that later in the video. Right now I'm just going to focus on a knife. Knives are the easiest to make though, must say. Okay, so right here, my second trace is way bigger than my first trace, and I like it way bigger like this. So it's going to be a bit uneven, but then what I can do, I can just trim it down. So yeah, there, I kind of like it like this. So now, when you have so much print, I'm sure some of you will probably just be using a normal, solid colored, kind of thing of foam, so that's okay. But when you have print on it like this, I'd probably wrap it in duct tape, or paint it or something. I have painted these before to make it not so girly or whatever. So now, right now all you have is like a flimsy piece of foam that you'd want to attach, but right here you take your longer popsicle sticks. If you only have shorter ones like me, that's okay. And if you're using shorter ones, then to make them longer, just cut the tips off and then glue them and tape them together so you have like a long one. That's what I do. I'm running out of glue sticks right now. So glue, tape. I suggest duct tape. I'm allowed to duct tape. I've been making lots of these. Used up all 10 of my sister's puzzle pieces. She had 10. Now she has 0. And then what you'd want to do right now, I'm using my last glue stick here. So I want to find something thick to kind of like help push along my glue stick. So I'm just going to go ahead and push it out. Glue it on. You do want to leave some slack so the tip bends when you stab people with it. You want the tip to bend so that you're not hitting them with like this much of foam and then a stick right there. You want it to bend. You can also, what I've done is if you do have a Nerf sword, like an actual one, what I did is I took my foam and my tip fell off, like it broke off. That's what happens to lots of your Nerf swords. And when that happens, people don't like to get stabbed by it because they're getting stabbed by the pole and not the foam tip that's safe to get stabbed by. So what I did is I used some of the foam from these to replace the tip. And I can show you that at the end of the video too. Oops. Okay. My blade is going to be bendy because I forgot a step for when you're using small sticks. Most of you should just get big sticks though, because like, really suggest you go get big sticks. Like, highly suggest it, because it's hard to work with these little things. I also would like to cut this one down. Ouch! I touched the tip of my glue gun. Don't do that. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Just with longer popsicle sticks. You should have when you do have your long popsicle sticks and you have to do your next one, you do want to tape them together so it doesn't become a weak spot in your knife. And I'm trying to make my core very strong and attached together as one piece, and that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that your core works together as one piece, because if it's like multiple pieces put together to make your core, it's gonna bend a lot. Okay, so there's my core, and then I just put glue on this, and then I'm just gonna set it like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm running out of glue. There, I'm officially out of glue now. And this Sharpie is, yeah. Okay, so now I'm officially out of glue. I'm just gonna go ahead and put these together. Once you're done using your glue gun and you're like 100% done, sure you're done using it, you're gonna want to go ahead and unplug it, so I'm gonna do that now. Unplugged. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tape, and then while this glue is drying, glue guns don't take that long, but you want it to dry while being tight, so I'm just gonna tape in a few places so it's nice and tight before the glue gets dried too loosely. I know it looks gross with like a face on a knife, so I'll probably paint this knife what I do sometimes is I will take duct tape, I'm all out of it though, and then like stick it right here, leave it there for a bit, and then just rip it right off, and it will take off most of the print. And after a few rips, it just takes off all the print. I do wrap my handle though. I'm all out of electrical tape though. Oh wait, I have one in a bag over there. Okay, I'm gonna go get my electrical tape so I can wrap the handle to make it look cooler. So I will be right back, and I'm gonna show you the last steps. Okay, I'm back. While I was gone, hopefully you could catch up with me because I am doing this kind of quickly. So take your electrical tape or any kind of tape. You don't even need the tape, you can the handle. I like to kind of wrap it so it looks cooler. So just kind of wrap it. Use painter's tape too. You could use painter's tape. I don't have any painter's tape. So there's my wrap. And you can notice right here my blade's uneven, so I'll just snip that down. And now some of them, my handle's very bendy and wobbly, and what I do is I just take a file. I'm sure your parents have some files they don't need. If you don't know what a file is, it's just one of these. I'm sure your parents have a few that have junk papers in them. They could give it to you, and then you could use that as a handle stiffener. That's what I do, because it's like stiff paper, but it's not like cardboard, because cardboard's so thick, it's very thin. Now, what I would do probably is, since my blade is kind of separating, as you can tell here, all of your blades are going to separate. That's okay, they all do it. I just usually take a little piece of tape and tighten it a bit, just a bit. So you can also paint your blade if it's a color you don't like, because I might paint my blade. I also might just I don't know about spray paint. You can kind of research if spray paint will hurt the squishiness of the foam, because you still want your foam to be squishy and harmless, because you want to be able to whack people with it. That's the whole point. Like, some of you are like, why not make a dagger out of wood or out of cardboard? Like, because people are gonna, well, first, the cardboard might not hurt as much, but foam's the best way to go because it won't hurt as much, which I really like. So there's my knife that I just made with you guys. I won't show you me painting it. Pretty simple process, just paint it. Real easy. I'll show you some other knives I've made. I made this knife. I did paint this one. Very bendy at the tip. Stiff enough on the blade. Also, you can notice on this one, it was a bit bendy, so I did take my popsicle sticks, and another thing I did with the blade, that's when I had lots of popsicle sticks that were really long. I took it and I put a popsicle stick through the blade on the outer and not inner, and then I took a popsicle stick through some of the handle and blade to make it a bit stiffer, and cover that in tape. So, and glued it there, so it's a bit better. You don't need to do this to all. I do it to some when I do it a lot when the blade and the handle aren't getting along, and the blade just wants to bend it where the handle is. That's when I usually do it. Here's one that kind of like a katana, well, it came in a Lego Ninjago set. There's a cool looking knife, so I copied it. Here's a Qatar dagger. This one is only one sheet and not double sheeted, double thick. And I have popsicle sticks on the outer, so if you don't have enough foam to make it double, what you can do is you can put popsicle sticks on the outer side and cover it in tape. And then I just kind of made this one like you hold it. I've also made here's how you make the big ones, is you can cut it out and then glue it together. So first cut them both out, then put them together and glue it, and then tape it. And then you can put your two pieces together you just made again. So when you're making big swords, you want to use the puzzle pieces to your advantage to make it go together and tape it and glue it. So this is my machete. Otherwise, that machete is made the same way as everything else, other than being taped and glued at the puzzle points. I'm gonna go grab one more knife to show you how another way I built one. So yeah, I'll be right back. It's only like across the room. Sadly, I forgot my karambit is not in my room right now, but I used file paper as the handle to make the handle stiffer, because you know the handle needs to be reliable so you can spin it and everything. If you don't know what a karambit is, I don't know if I'm saying it right. This is a karambit. Just imagine this in foam. Really fun to hit people with. This is also a one-sheeted. This is not double thick as some of the others. I have a popsicle stick running through both sides. And I have also a popsicle stick up here. You just can't see it, but it's up there. So like it bends right here, taps right there really nicely, and still pretty durable. This is a kitchen knife I traced. I trace all kinds of knives that, like my dad has knives I trace. My mom has kitchen knives I trace. Sometimes I just go online and draw a knife, make up a knife. Trying to think of a knife I made up. I made up my machete. I looked at a picture online. I did make up a dagger. I just kind of like was drawing. It's like, hey, you know, this would kind of be cool. So I cut that out into foam. I've also made an axe, a really crappy axe. Need to remake one, but I'm all out of foam sheets. Want to buy some more. Well, they're not sheets, they're puzzle pieces. I'm all out of foam puzzle pieces. I do want to make another one. You can make axes. I made a spear. So what I did for the spear is all you have to do is draw your spearhead shape onto foam, cut it out twice, you know, but then cut it out 3 times. So cut out 3 times this time, and have the middle part cut an extra little slot take a long PVC, and then have that in the middle part. You have the slot for the PVC that it can slip into, and I'll go grab my spear. Okay, so this is my spear. So as you can see right here, it's pretty thick. For this one, I cut out a slot on here, and then I kind of shaved off a bit where the slot was on these 2 outer ones, so that this pull would fit in. So I could literally just slip this on and then glue it. And I put some glue in that slot, and then I slipped it on and then taped it. And when it dried, it works really nicely. I put duct tape on it to make it extra stiff, but on the tip. Then I put a little bit of jean material on here to kind of make it look cooler. But this is a broomstick. So if you don't have PVC, maybe your parents have a broom that they don't need an extra broom or an extra broomstick, like a crappy broom. They can just, most of them, you can just screw right off the broom part and have the stick. I also have, my dad just had an extra broomstick without a broom on the end that he let me use. So you can also use a PVC. But I used a broomstick, so we didn't have any PVC. But yeah, that's like how you can make like foam muleys out of foam puzzle pieces. Like I know some dudes, like they'll go on Amazon and buy foam. I think it's kind of expensive. Like why not just buy a foam weapon instead of buying the foam to make the weapon? Because then you need to buy your core and everything. I know there are other videos, but none of them are exactly like what I just made. So I hope this helped you make some foam mealies. If there's any tips or things you had a problem with, just comment that down below, and I'll try to answer them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.